looking at the wide receivers here, you could see looking at the average, this is the average per game they played. So if they miss some games, we factor those out. Well, here's a list. You can see T. Higgins. What T. Higgins, T. Higgins, T. Higgins is all you're hearing about in free agency. Well, here's the reason why. He averaged second to his teammate Jamar Chase at 12.59. A little bit higher than Justin Jefferson. And Chris Godwin, who's a free agent as well, but coming off an injury. So you can see that list. So that's why it's so important up there. T. Higgins. Everyone wants to talk about him, but we're going to talk about the AFC South. And number one there is Nico Collins. Nico Collins and Brian Thomas Jr. both representing the AFC South, but they're not free agents. Let's go over some free agents. Stephon Diggs comes in at 25th on this list by average. He missed some games too, but if you only take the games he played in, he averaged 9.3. Good for 23rd on the list. So, and he is a free agent. Some of the other free agents from the AFC South wide receivers, Nick Westbrook-Ikini and, well, Deontay Johnson, listed here with Houston, just signed late, was never really played with them. And then you have Tyler Boyd and Robert Woods. Some of the other names should recognize coming up free agent. But you can see here, both of them, Tyler Boyd, 2 points a game. Robert Woods, 1 point a game. Those are names from the past, I guess. So, all right. What about Stephon Diggs, the prize here, right? Hey, came 23rd on that list. Problem is, he suffered a torn ACL, and it was week 9. Generally, these take 9 to 12 months to recover from. So questions arise here with him being in his 10. He's been 10 years. I think he's going to turn 32 next year. We don't heal like we used to when we're 32. So let's go over the AFC South and see their cap situation. Welcome into Fantasy AI. Moving on. AFC South. Houston led the way at 10-7. Indianapolis 8-9. Jacksonville 4-13, and Tennessee 3-14. So let's go into Houston. Look at their contract. Hey, they've got $1 million in cap space available. See, their top paid player was Nico Collins last year, $24 million. They can afford to do that because they got a quarterback only making $9 million, one of the tops, right? Because he's on that rookie contract. So Nico Collins, they had 2 high price paid wide receivers last year with Stephon Diggs. Well, the story there, of course, is Stephon Diggs getting hurt and only showing up half a year. And then, of course, Houston had all kinds of problems. And then Tank Dell getting hurt too. So towards the very end, he's going to be probably out all of next year. So you saying 10-7 team, they're looking to rebuild? Well, certainly rebuild their wide receiver core. I mean, Nico's a good place to start, you know. Did very good with that 11.8 average we saw. So, but we got nothing else going here. Maybe Dalton Schultz here. But even so, they fell to the 21st team in passing last year. So I look for Nico to have a great year next year if everything falls right, unless we got to get him some help. But they got no money. So that's kind of hurting there. Other Robert Woods, free agent, $7 million last year. So with those injuries, they thought they could rely on Robert Woods. Nothing. 200 yards receiving last year. Just nothing there. So didn't get any help from him. And the other wide receivers we got down the list here, none to speak of. Never came out. Hutchinson, hey, he's $1 million. He's under contract from to 2026. He's darling of the preseason, but he didn't do much during the regular season. So every preseason you see him going and just looking so good. And then season we get nothing here. So anyway, they don't have many free agents. That's one thing you can say. But they got no money, and they need to get some wide receiver help. So maybe this John Mechie is going to come on. Got him under contract one more year out of Alabama. Hey, he off and on, but he'd been hurt, had that, problems to start off his career. So let's look at Indy. They got to get that wide receiver situations and defense. I mean, hey, every team's going through this. So let's go into Indianapolis next. Highest paid player, Michael Pittman Jr. Right there's the problem, huh? $23 million a year. You got 2 more years on that contract. He just signed that. That's fresh, right? So what'd you get for that $23 million? Ooh, 6 points a game. It's probably his worst several years, worst season. Just off, 23 million. So we're going to look at his, Alec Pierce led the way for him. Surprise 35th here. Still on his rookie contract. Josh Downs next. Michael Pittman ended up 45th down here. So didn't deliver on that contract. And, of course, Anthony Richardson didn't really deliver. Came in preseason ranked 5th, finished 22nd. So that's part of the problem here. Jonathan Taylor's going strong for him at running back. Finished 8th. So, hey, you can see Jonathan Taylor second highest priced on the team. But, hey, worth it. Anthony Richardson. So that's part of the dilemma. What are they going to do there? They were talking about bringing another quarterback in. Well, they got $31 million in cap space. So you do bring in another quarterback to just win now? I mean, do they have the team to just win now? Finished 8-9? You don't know if they're going to bring in another quarterback or what they're going to do there. Try Anthony Richardson one more year, maybe. Who knows? We're looking at the Joe Flacco free agent, their backup. So really 18 years in. Do you think he'll get another contract or do you think he'll retire? So who knows what he's going to do. But Trey Sermon just didn't deliver. But that's about it. They don't have a lot of free agents either, and they got cap space available. So we'll see what they're going to do. Maybe sign another wide receiver to help. Although you're paying Michael Pittman all that money. I don't know. All right, let's move to Jacksonville. Jacksonville, they've got $33 million in cap space and can sign some people, right? Trevor Lawrence. Is Trevor Lawrence going to come around here? They're paying him $55 million to 2030. He's your quarterback. Unless they move him, who's going to take him? So, played the first half of the season, then out. So, what are they going to do to heighten his career? Well, Christian Kirk's still on board. He's getting paid $18 million a year. Evan Ingram's on board for next year, $13 million a year. Gabe Davis. Ooh, this is painful. $13 million a year next year. And what did he do? He finished just nothing. Look at those. Didn't even play towards the end. 239, just terrible. Not worth the money. I mean, their wide receivers, thank goodness for Brian Thomas Jr. And even then they had the 24th team in passing. Christian Kirk just disappeared. Parker Washington's looking like he's part of the team here playable. I mean, and their running game fell. Tank Bigsby, just Jacksonville, just total disappointment. What are they going to do other than Brian Robinson Jr.? But what are they going to do? Here's their free agency list. Hey, Mac Jones. You're going to bring him back in to give competition to Trevor Lawrence? Who knows there? Deonis Johnson here, running back. Who knows if they sign him again? Really not much there. So Jacksonville, hey, at least they don't have a lot of free agency. But is that a good thing? Because they finished 4-13 last year. So, some of those teams we hit where they had a lot, like Kansas City, when we're talking about them, they have all these wide receivers that they're going to be off the team next year. Well, good, they can go get some new ones and maybe better. Well, you flash down to Jacksonville here, though. Heck, they're all coming back, unfortunately. It's not a good thing, I don't think. Well, Brian Thomas Jr. certainly is. But, all right, let's move on to Tennessee. Tennessee, Calvin Ridley, $23 million a year. You got him, don't worry, you got him for 3 more years. So how did he do last year on that big contract? 1,000 yards. He got 1,000 yards and sent DeAndre Hopkins out to another team. So, but he finished 23rd in wide receivers. Hey, they had him pick consensus for 28th, so he outperformed what they thought. Just Tennessee disappointing altogether. 26th team in offense. Of course, we saw Nick Westbrook-Akini come up here. He finished 43rd. I mean, he wasn't even ranked preseason. So, and Tyler Boyd, just total disappointment here. Tennessee, just total disappointment. But so they've got $50 million in cap space and moves to make. So what are they going to do? Tony Pollard's wrapped up for till 2026. So they got him in the house. Treylon Burks. They're under contract for 2 more years. They must have re-signed him. I don't know. $3 million. Oh, he was a first-round pick, so that's still that rookie. See, Oh, that's just bad news. You're not getting anything out of him. Mason Rudolph. What are you going to do with him? He's a free agent. 1 year signed contract last year. Come in to back up. Played. Got in there because of disappointment. So he did, but he never really took over and did anything. So maybe they let him go. They stick with Will Levis. Maybe bring in some competition. They're talking about picking up free agencies at quarterback. I'll go to the quarterbacks here. First free agent here is going to be Aaron Rodgers. He's looking for a team. Sam Darnold, Trey Lance, Jacoby Brissett, Tyler Heineke, Andy Dalton, Drew Lock, Justin Fields. If Pittsburgh lets him go, maybe he'll be the guy. Jameis Winston. I mean, do you bring one of these in to compete with Will Levis? So and that's what makes this interesting, this free agency, what teams are going to do and what they think they have to do. So, hey, with $50 million in cap space, they could remake their team. They got a running back, I guess, Tony Pollard. They brought him in last year, gave him $7 million a year. He finished 1,000 yards, 1,200 from scrimmage. So, hey, he finished 21st and preseason consensus 20th. So, hey, he did all right. So they did pretty good with Tony Pollard. So maybe bring in who knows? We'll see what they do. That's what's great about it. They don't have many wide receiver or free agents listed here, other than the ones we've mentioned. So just a backup quarterback. Tyler Boyd, they can afford to let him go. Did nothing. I think they should bring back Westbrook-Akini. I mean, it was one of the bright spots for them. All right. So that's a look at the AFC South. All right. Hey, if you're liking what you're seeing, please hit that like. Please hit that subscribe button. Give me a like or subscribe over here. All right, it's that time. I'm going to fill my shorts. Warning, this is a rapid repeat. Going to fill my shorts. Get started. Fantasy AI with your AFC South free agent. Star Ngwambwe had 300 yards from scrimmage. He's a free agent for Houston. Julius Chestnut, running back, free agent for Tennessee. Tyler Boyd, 390 yards receiving last year. He's a free agent looking to catch on somewhere. Mason Rudolph got in the game some last year. He is a free agent quarterback this year. Trey Sermon got his chance last year and didn't deliver. He's available at running back free agency. Joe Flacco, over the hill. He's still out there. Some teams sign him maybe. Nick Westbrook-Akini, 9 touchdowns in limited action last year for Tennessee. Available at wide receiver. Mac Jones, free agent. He is a backup quarterback. Maybe someone to sign him. Mo Alley Cox got almost $6 million last year for 147 yards. Stephon Diggs, if he's not hurt, he's the best free agent from the South.